So this month's hat is inspired by Disney Channel original movie Bad Hair Day. And I kept seeing the commercials for it and I just thought this hat was super adorable. So it's a nice blue hat with little cat ears and it has this gray and red stripe. So if you want to see how to make this, then keep on watching. So you'll need a size 8 circular needle, a stitch marker, a large size sewing needle, and yarn of your choice. To match the hat, you're going to need your yarn. I'm going with the 4-ply with Love Red Heart yarn in the color Pewter and Blue Bell. For the accented red stripes, we are going to be using Bright Red from Craft Smart's Value yarn. So you want to start by taking your needles and your blue yarn and casting on 88 stitches. So once you've cast on all 88 stitches, make sure that your stitches lay straight in the round on your needles. Having your yarn that's attached on the right needle, you're going to take your stitch marker and slip it onto your right needle. Then we're just going to begin a basic knit 2, purl 2 rib. And pretty much this whole hat is very simple, very easy. We're just changing colors to add our stripes. We're just going to knit 2 and purl 2. And we're just going to create that nice thick rib that's on the band of the hat. And any of these proportions can be altered. So if you want a thinner band or a thicker one, you can just go ahead and either continue or stop sooner. Just make the hat however. And also you can feel free to change up the colors. So we're just going to continue our knit 2, purl 2 rib. So once you have your ribbing, we're going to do about 2 inches or 12 rows. So we want a quite thick band of our ribbing. So once we have that complete, we're going to go ahead and switch over to our gray yarn. So you can go ahead and trim your blue yarn if you want to now. We're going to leave a small tail on the inside of our hat. Using our gray yarn, we're going to begin knitting. And this whole hat is done in stockinette, and since we're in the round, it's going to be knit every row. And we're going to knit all our stitches with our gray yarn, and we're going to continue the gray for 3 rows. So you just want to knit every single stitch, turning it into our gray color. And then we're going to work 3 rows of gray. So once you do your 3 rows of gray, you're going to leave your gray attached because we're coming back to that. We don't need to cut it. But for 2 rows, we're going to be switching over to our red. So you want to go ahead and grab your red yarn, leave a small tail on the inside of your hat, don't cut your gray, and we're just going to work 2 rows in red. We're just creating a small stripe within our gray patch of red. So we're just going to do 2 rows. So you just want to knit all your gray stitches, turning them to red for 2 rows. So once you've worked your 2 rows of red, we're going to switch back to our gray for 3 rows. So since we didn't cut our yarn, we're just going to lightly pull it up. Since there is 2 rows in between, you don't want to pull too tight. Lightly pull up on your gray and begin knitting with that. This time we're changing all our red stitches back to our gray, and we're going to continue gray for 3 rows again. So we're going to have 3 rows of gray, 2 rows of red, 3 rows of gray. You're just going to repeat that all the way around. So after we work our 3 rows of gray, We're going to then pick up our blue again, leaving a small tail on the inside, and we're going to knit 4 rows with blue. So after that, then you want to go ahead and do another repeat of our 3 gray, 2 red, 3 gray, 6 blue, and then continue in blue until your hat measures 10 inches from cast on edge to cast off edge. And then you're going to bind off, so then you just have an open hat like this. Then you're going to sew your top seam shut. So you just want to flip it inside out and sew it on the wrong side so I have a nice seam on the outside. So once you have your seam sewn and flipped back to right side out, what you want to do is take a strand of your blue yarn and thread it through your needle. Now we're going to be making the ears for the hat. So what you want to do is start 2 rows up from your gray, and you want your hat together, so you go through front and back. So go up 2 rows from that and insert your needle. And then you're going to, if you need to previously map this out or put a template over this, you want to go up in a diagonal line to form our ear. So you just want to weave your needle in and out through both front and back of your hat in a diagonal line up to the top of our hat. Like that. And then you want to pull tight, and then what you're going to do is turn your hat around and do the same thing. So on the back side, you're just going to weave back and forth in between what you've already done and come out on the other side where we started. Pull it tight. And what you may want to do is work each side, so don't actually cut your yarn or anything. Just create a new one and do the same on the other side to make sure the ears look even. So then what you want to do is just go ahead and tighten. You want to just go ahead and tighten your yarn to form the shaping that you want the ears to be for your hat. And then you're just going to tie them off and weave the ends in through the center of the hat. And then just weave in the rest of your ends and your hat is finished. I hope you enjoyed this hat. Let me know if you make it down below in the comments. Also, don't forget to check out Bad Hair Day on Disney Channel, premiering February 13th. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.